just like going through withdrawal or something?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, that's bad.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
My uncle is an alcoholic.
To the people out there who think, oh, weed isn't addictive or whatever, not any more than it's not addictive compared to like heroin or meth or something, but keep in mind, folks, you can get addicted to anything. You can get addicted to cereal, you could get addicted to, pornography, or you could get addicted to a specific TV show, or like you could get addicted to a book series or something.
Eating disorders are just like getting addicted to not eating, getting addicted to throwing up.
Yeah. You can get addicted to sleeping. You can you can get addicted to literally anything. So it just bothers me when people think addiction, they automatically think like hard drugs or something. It's like, it is not what that means. You can be addicted to anything. It's all just about the individual and the self-control and things like that. Again, it's about the user, not the substance.
I know I definitely won't be doing it tomorrow. Or like, I keep saying like, wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like...
I'm trying to phrase it.
I mean, it's like I said, you gotta like set aside time for that. You don't want to be doing your homework while you're high or something, or like something like that. You don't want to be like in a business call or in a job interview or something like that. I mean, I can say for an absolute fact that close to half of my classmates in college show up, stones to class a good percentage of the time. And one of the kids that I sat next to in my music class, he always wore a hoodie, and I didn't know why until one of the last days of class, and I always wondered why. I'm like, why does he wear a hoodie? It's like 76 degrees in here, and it's 90 degrees outside, what's he doing that for? And I finally realized at the end, when I saw him walk out of class and take the hoodie off, he's wearing headphones the whole time, and he didn't want the professor to see the headphones in, so that's how he would hide it. He would sneak he would have his phone in his shirt pocket and put the jacket on over it, and have the headphones, be under his shirt, and go around the back through where the hoodie's going over it, and go into the ears with the hoodie over the ears. So he's listening to like Pink Floyd or Jimi Hendrix or something the whole time during class, and he's just he's becoming comfortably numb, feeling like butter in an oven, looking at the screen, just, casually writing down what's on the screen, just like to, oh yeah, I'm taking notes, yeah, whatever. And, then he'll just start, like, if it's too long, like if the professor's explaining something for an extended amount of time and he already wrote down it's on the screen, he'll just start, like, scribbling something, like doodling something, drawing something, and, like, everyone will think he's taking notes and be like, oh, see, like, look at Sebastian over here, he's taking notes, or, huh? Oh, yeah, I'm taking notes, he's drawing whatever, so and one thing, too, my favorite moment from him is when he fell asleep during the final exam, or maybe it was the midterm, I don't know, but the point is, it was a Scantron exam. He fell asleep like as soon as it started. They were passing around the test to each of the students, and they got to him, and he was like 3 questions in, he just like you could tell he was really high. He was just like screwing around. He was like playing with his pencil or something, and eventually he dropped it, and then he like was too lazy to pick it up, and so he like started to bend down to try to reach to get it, but he just ended up like his head falling into his notebook basically, and so he just never got up. He never changed his posture, and he ended up just falling asleep, but with his mouth open, and he woke up at the end of the exam like a full 2 hours later. Him and I were the last 2 in class. The only difference is I was actually doing the exam, and so he woke up and he was just covered in drool. Like the whole paper for the test was just drenched in saliva, and the Scantron was wet and everything, and he had only answered the first 3 questions. And the time was up, and the professor was collecting the things, and all right, and you, huh? And then all of a sudden he woke up, and I guess he didn't realize that he didn't complete it. I guess in his mind he thought he had just fallen asleep and that he'd completed the test first, but because he did not seem like distraught about it. He seemed like fine, like, oh yeah, okay, it's time to leave, and so he just did, put his backpack on and walked out. It's find it funny how like that professor now like. I wonder what his reaction was. It's just drenched in drool, and there's like 3 questions answered, and that's it. And he was the last one there, Like, he was there the longest, and yet he put the least work into it. It's like all that note taking. What does it get you?
True.
But yeah, so the moral of the story is if you gotta pick the time and the place, So it's like be responsible, like you said, have your priorities. Don't be Sebastian. don't show up high to class or whatever. Don't.
Oh my god, I had a guy that like he had a very good for me, and I understood for him. And then school came around, I stopped talking to him. I basically ghosted him. But he would come to class high. He still tell the kids and he was so yeah. Her name was Sebastian as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now I know not to name my kid Sebastian. Name for children Sebastian. It's such a real name.
And at first I didn't even put it together too, because I noticed his eyes were always bloodshot, but I just thought maybe it was because he had like insomnia or something. It took me a while to put it together because I'm usually pretty optimistic about people. Like everyone starts off at a perfect 10 to me. Like everyone automatically has my respect, and so it's like it took me a while to realize. Wait a minute, this kid's not a good student at all. Actually, he just doesn't care about anything. He's listening to headphones the whole time. He's like just spacing out, contemplating life through the point of view of a French fry or something. Like if you ask him what he learned in class, he wouldn't be able to answer. But
so bad in my soul.
Anyway, do you have any questions for me about anything? I've asked you a series of random questions out of context oftentimes, so I'll give you, the guest, the opportunity to turn the tables on me. Do you have anything?
Oh, what's your age?
That's one thing I can't say on this channel, or, well, I'm not going to, because I want that to be a fun little mystery for the folks at home. That actually became a thing shortly before I made this channel. Some people think I'm 13 years old, some people think I'm 16, some people think I'm 19, some people think I'm 25, whatever. So that became a fun little thing for me, is every time someone asks how old I am, I say, how old do you think I am? And I make them guess first. And so, that became a fun little thing just because I have so many varying answers that I just leave it a mystery most of the time, and I'll just let people figure it out for themselves. So that's one thing on the YouTube channel, is that I'm very careful never to reveal that, because I want it to be a mystery until I'll reveal it eventually. But like when it's like a big channel and it's like I'm a famous YouTuber, then I'll be like, all right, well, you folks deserve to know.
Yeah. Well, you said college, so you can't be more than like freshman year of college or sophomore.
You think I'm a college noob?
What do you mean a noob?
I'll have you know I'm halfway through my 6th semester of college. But, anyway.
You're making me do math. I can't do math right now.
Yeah, I get you. Anyway, any other questions? You don't want to ask what my favorite flavor of ice cream is, or what kind of car I'd want to be, or any of that. All right.
Who's your favorite song artist?
My favorite songwriter?
Artist.
I have a hard time picking favorites with things like that. What genre are we talking?
Let's go with like rock.
Rock? What are we? Soft rock, hard rock, metal?
It varies from Water Speed to like e11 or Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Greta Van Fleet.
Alright, so soft rock I'm gonna give to I wanna say Muse, just because that's really the only real concert that I've been to, and it was awesome. And I've loved Muse for a long time. I know I have just about every one of their songs. The first album that I ever got was from them, so it holds a lot of memories. But as far as sheer songwriting goes, as far as like the talent in the songwriting itself, there's probably better. Mastodon's pretty cool, but I still feel like I can do better. In terms of soft rock, let's see. Well, Nirvana, for one. In terms of songwriting, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to put them above Muse in terms of songwriting, because they're just a little bit, a little craftier in their approach. So they might be first place in the soft rock. Hard rock, go on.
I said I found a really cool conspiracy theory on Kurt Cobain.
I've probably seen it.
No, someone says that Courtney Love was lying and whatever, but the note he was making wasn't a suicide letter, but a letter to his parents to know that he doesn't want to continue with them if he wants to move, have children, and live with Courtney and stuff like that. But Courtney found out that he wanted to get support, and people said, she shot him in the shop, but he could have either overdosed or shot himself, but the amount of heroin that was in his system was lethal.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, that...
It was lethal.
That's a point that's prevalent in most of the documentaries.
And his shotgun, it was full. It wasn't touched.
Remember the game?
People say that they said that he bought the shotgun after, but that's wrong. He bought it before as a protection, before he went to rehab.
Remember the guy who, claimed that, Courtney Love hired him to assassinate Kurt Cobain or whatever, and he was just, this fat, G.G. Allen kind of guy, and then, they went to interview him, but he, got hit by a train and died the next day or something. Remember that?
I didn't like that.
But yeah, so that...
And then also, here's with the 27 card, which was crazy to me. Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain,
Yeah, the 27. Yeah, well...
That was a crazy list.
So yeah, that's probably I could definitely say hands down the best songwriting trio in soft rock. So as far as hard rock goes, there's a lot more options. I'm more well versed in hard rock than in soft rock, so there's a lot more. The competition's fierce. But let's see. Try to navigate my way through this. Avenged Sevenfold has some pretty clever songs. System of a Down. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, ha 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 ha. The Fall of Troy. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Check out The Fall of Troy. I have no idea what most of their songs are about, and that's exactly why I love it, because I feel like an intellectual listening to it, because I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm sure it's some real sophisticated stuff here, you know, and like, I don't know, if you have any theories about that, please let me know. If you say like, yeah, I just listened to, you know, this song by The Fall of Troy, and I think I have a handle on what it is, please, because I looked up on the internet one day, like, Fall of Troy Explained or something, and nothing came up. So, you know, I really hope I can derive some kind of meaning. But honestly, I mean, you could call me a conspiracy theorist if you will, or whatever, but I tend to correlate things that most people don't correlate. And so, like, if I'm given little separate bits of information, I'll, like, try to connect dots and, you know, make a coherent narrative out of stuff. So, and I do that with songs a lot of times too. I'll be the one in the room that'll point something out, like, you know, this song's probably, you know, whatever, and so I'd be like, huh, you know, whatever. Um, you know, like yeah, let's see. Let me think of an example here, just so I can. Well, I mean, like, I mean, I like even just taking Nirvana for example, because we were just talking about that. I was explaining to my friend, you know, that Aneurysm's just a song about doing heroin, and Drain Use is a song about an abortion, but like it's twins, and the parents didn't want twins, they only wanted one, so they only extract one of the one of the one of the fetuses, and the other one survives and witnesses the whole thing, and that's what the song is. And so, you know, yeah, and so it's like this is some pretty dark stuff, and it's you know, it's a happy sounding song. It's very upbeat and all that, and those are some of my favorite songs. You know, the upbeat, you know, sounding like whatever, and some of them even make it to pop songs like "Foster the People," "Pumped Up Kicks," or whatever. Like a lot of these really disturbing songs end up becoming, you know, popular and end up becoming mainstream hits. You know, so that kind of stuff, I'm really a fan of that sort of thing. But I'll just be the one in the room to explain, like, you know, this there's more than meets the eye to this. But even I, with that kind of thing, the Fall of Troy, I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say. So I feel like I got to give it to them because they stumped me, and that's something that's really hard to do. System of a Down does that too sometimes. I understand a little bit more of their stuff, but still, a lot of times they just completely lose me. I'll be like, okay, I have no idea what the significance of that was. You know, that thing you just name dropped, I don't know what that has to do with anything. You know, whatever. So, you know, a lot of System of a Down stuff, but they're a little bit more. Well, first of all, they're more mainstream than the Fall of Troy, so that might have something to do with it, but. Yeah, so in terms of hard rock, the Fall of Troy isn't really even hard rock, though. They're just more alternative. But, hey, that's the way it goes. In terms of psychedelic, I mean, how psychedelic is the Beatles? I feel like that's kind of like the LSD of psychedelic music, where it's kind of just entry level. It's one that everyone knows. I might as well say my top 5 favorite Beatles songs, not that you ask or anything, but I'd have to go with A Day in the Life, number 1. Strawberry Fields Forever, number 2. I'm gonna put, let's say, I Am the Walrus has got to be up there. So, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, number 3. I really like that one. And then I Am the Walrus, number 4. And then for number 5, I guess Eleanor Rigby, maybe. That's a nice little tune. But I really like Pink Floyd. I think they got a nice style going on. Surprisingly, I haven't listened to very much of Jimi Hendrix, but I'm sure if I did, I'd like it.
There's really good song that was just really live. It's called Little Food.
Also, 2 more artists I would suggest to you. Neither one is rock, but one is the Dismemberment Plan. they're great as far as alternative indie music. Um, I personally like their older stuff a little bit better, but all of it's diverse and fun to listen to. And the other one is Elliott Smith, who you may already have heard of. Um, he's very talented. He's not rock at all. It's more like kind of folk music. Everything's acoustic with him, so. But he's very talented. He played like 5 different instruments and stuff. He would like record them separately, and they're all him, and then like just combine it into one song, and it'd be like it's him on vocals, on guitar, on drums, on bass, on piano, on brass, or whatever. And it's just like, wow, it's like everything is mind blowing. And so yeah, it's very immersive to me. You know, it's very emotional and very like it's very detailed and specific, yet vague enough to be interpreted multiple different ways. And that's one thing I think is great. It's a rare quality, you know, because most songs, especially like take pop music for example, you're gonna find the type of music that's either way too vague and generic to be meaningful, or just very too specific to be enjoyable, you know. So if you can find that balance, it's really a rare thing. But you seem like you're falling asleep, so should we cut this short here? Hello? I guess you're already asleep, huh? Well, this is a first in this podcast history. This is the first time a guest has fallen asleep during an episode of the City of Infinity podcast. So, first time for everything, right, folks? Well, in any case, I guess I'm on my own for the outro here. Are you waking up? Are you awake now? No? Alright, well, thanks for listening, everybody, to the City of Infinity podcast. Thanks for sticking around with us, getting your blood boiled by my, frustrating rants and stuff like that. Tune in again real soon. Alright, one last time, are you awake? Alright. That about wraps it up then, I suppose.